Hey everybody, let's make it real. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go to oye.org and we're going to look up Marbury versus Madison, a case from 1803. And let me tell you right now, this is not a sexy case. This is not a provocative case. But when you look through this case and you look at what came from it, you'll understand that the federal government's authority would expand greatly from the Constitution being ratified to this year of 1803. And essentially what this case is saying, let's just get right to it. Thomas Jefferson defeated Adams for the presidency. Adams was supposed to add new judges to the court system. His Secretary of State, John Marshall, was supposed to write those commissions into law. That didn't happen, so it was passed to the next Secretary of State, James Madison, who was from another political party. He was a member of the Democratic Republicans. John Adams was a member of the Federalist Party. So Madison refused to put those judges into their positions. So some of those judges, including Marbury, who was appointed Justice of the Peace in the District of Columbia, he sued to get his commission. So what ended up happening here was that he brought his case to the Supreme Court because he thought that was the place to go for it. And what ended up happening, you had three questions. Do the plaintiffs who did not get their commissions, get their jobs, did they have a right to receive their commissions? Did they have a right to sue? And is the Supreme Court the right place to do this? Now, the Chief Justice at the time was John Marshall, the same John Marshall who did not sign the commissions in the first place. But when he came back and he wrote his decision, he answered the questions yes, yes, no. So yes, they had a right to receive their jobs. Yes, they had the right to gain their commissions in court, or I should say to sue for their commissions in court. But no, the Supreme Court did not have the authority to deliver their commissions. So what ended up happening here was we ended up getting the principle of judicial review, the power of the Supreme Court to determine a law is unconstitutional. This is the precedent that we have today, where the Supreme Court has authority to declare which laws are constitutional and which ones are not. In this case, the Judiciary Act of 1789 conflicted with the Constitution. That was Marshall's reasoning. So therefore, Marbury could not sue in the Supreme Court to get his job. And now we have an expansion of the Supreme Court starting in 1803. Not necessarily an expansion, but we have the understanding of what the Supreme Court can do. I think that's a better way of putting it, that we have an understanding of what the Supreme Court can do, and that begins in 1803. So we're making it real today by looking at the case of Marbury versus Madison.